for once. I'm early again. good. Hey. Welcome Raiders. Oh hey, you just started, LOL. Hi. Hi. Coming. When start?
Now I guess. Sorry, I was a little bit busy. Now I guess. Oh, shut up, Joy. Joy. Okay. Right now, let me wear my earphone first. So loud. Ah, wow, wow, wow. Sorry. Hello there. I didn't turn on my air conditioner. Oh, thanks for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. I'm merely a music. Thank you for the follow. But guess what? I actually did sing first. Uh, oh, so what happened? Did I got a raid or something? And what's your name, sir? Uh, wait, it's a girl, is it? Sorry. How you guys doing? Is Jai Pop here? Oh yeah. uh, have a lot of fun. Wow, it's crazy. 9 viewers. But yeah, it's all gone. How you guys? What do you want to talk about? It's just chatting, no art today. I mean, not right now. At least that's what I know. Because I just want to do just chatting for now. Oh yeah, it's a raid. Sanchai. Thanks for the raid, Sanchai.
Where are you from?
I'm from oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Okay, I'm from Thailand. I'm Yulia. I'm gonna say thank you to Sanchai right now. Yeah, thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid. I should have been early. Yeah. Anyway, I'm here now.
Wow. Bangkok.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, he's a VTuber. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about Senchai? Are you with Senchai? Because seem like you're from Senchai stream, right?
Amari, not Amariel sleeping face.
Oh, Amory, not Amariel. Oh, okay. I uh anyway, that's how I pronounce it. Amaria.
Are you learning English?
Not Amario. Maria. I'm not learning English, but I will learn English soon.
Not that bad.
Oh, that's great, sir. Yeah, but it's really lacking for me. When I was watching my own stream on phone, it's really lacking, sir. Yeah, you see. So, Amaria, are you like, uh, what are you?
Boy, it's Sasa, not Sergey.
Sasa, not Sir J. Oh, okay.
How are you? Smiley face.
Sasa? What is Sasa? Are you talking about the guy? The girl? Because we have Sasha here, but not today. She was here though. How am I? I'm good. I I was I was outside texting on my phone. I see like like nobody
I am a
actually
girl,
like
haha. I ain't
uh
a girl, I'm gender fluid.
okay. So you see I usually don't have many people to watch, so it's not like I didn't take good care of my stream. It just you know I didn't expect anyone to be early this much early. But yeah, thank you, Amaria. I wish I could talk to them like all of them, those people from the raid. But I was late,
No
sadly.
problem.
Yeah. So you're a girl, okay? No problem too. No problem. You're a girl. I I don't think it's
Boy,
a
I'm
problem.
first.
Oh, oh,
Hi
okay.
Jay, how's your day?
Hello, Melody. What's up? Uh, you're pink as ever, you know, because you have the pink name tag. Is it a lovely day, Melody? How's your lovely day, Maria? Maria, 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 Ame, Ame, yeah, Ame, yeah. You don't get offended
I'm
by
doing
me
well.
calling you
Smiley
guys.
face.
I mean, calling you Ame, right? I like Ame. Ame is kind of cute. Oh, Ame's doing well. That's nice to hear. Really, I
Ameri not Amaria.
am Amory, not Amory. That's why I'm calling her Ame because it's hard. Amory, okay, Amory, Amory,
Amari.
Amory. Yeah, got it. Uh, who is this? Oh, is it
It's okay.
Sasha?
Smiley face.
Is it Sasha? Is Sasha here? I think that's it, Sasha, right? Uh,
Hi slightly smiling
hello,
face.
humble fisherman. What's up? Oh, Amaria, thanks. I mean,
Yes
you
Sasa.
can speak Thai, really? I can speak Thai, yeah. How come you know Thai language? Just wonder. And humble fish, man, don't forget to follow. I would love to talk to you. I mean, you don't have to
No, I
follow
only know a
to
few words.
talk to me, but you know what I mean, right? Like, we can talk after this too. But if you can remember my name, it's fine. Oh yeah, about my name, I'm Maria. Amory. About my name is Jai. My and my
Jay,
full
we
yeah.
never did the collab.
Oh
I know
oh
what you
yeah,
mean.
Sasha, right?
Slightly smiling face.
Oh okay. So my name is Jai. Jai. That's my name because it's like J, but it's I. And I like lollipop. So that's why it's pop. Jai Jai Pop. That's how you can remember it. Alright? From now on, I'm your Jai Jai Pop. Yeah. I mean, counselor.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Sure. Oh.
I like the name.
Oh, thanks, Fisherman. You're the kindest, dear person of today. I mean, not not many people from Deal are nice to me. They like to bully. They are trolls and Turkish sometimes. They just spam Turkish flag,
You look
Turkish flag.
nervous, Jay.
Oh, I'm not nervous, not at all. It's not because I'm talking to Amaria or anything. Uh, Emery, I'm fine, totally fine. I'm not nervous today. I don't even think that I'm nervous today, actually. Yeah. Anyway, คุณกำลังฝึกภาษาอังกฤษอยู่หรือเปล่า No, I'm not trying to study English right now, Amaria. I'm Maria. Oh, Ame. Okay, I'll just call you Ame, alright? Ame, I'm not trying to learn English right now, but in the future, after just 2 months, 2 months, next 2 months, I will study English again, and
Sure.
my English should be even
Haha, you
better.
can call me that.
Ame, yeah, Ame. Oh, you know Ame? Do you even know who is Ame? Like, yeah, I call you Ame, but you know other people whose name Ame? It's yeah, I don't know if you actually know her. Anyway, humble fisherman, what's your name? Sorry, I just couldn't talk to everyone. So many people. Sorry.
Just learning.
I'm not. I'm not nervous. No, I'm not learning. I told you, not learning. I know how to speak English. I know a lot about English. I can speak fluently, as you can see. Yeah. But I can tell you one thing. I'm not nervous as usual. But I like the cat though. Is the cat this way? Yeah, cat. I just draw that like today, I guess. Maybe yesterday. I'm not sure. It's today though. I draw it for
That's
Becca.
all good. My actual name is Casey, but I like my username.
Oh,
Slightly
okay,
smiling face.
Casey. I'll just call you
I
Humble
want to
then.
see cat now.
Oh, don't you see cat? That cat. That cat. The uh um you know the the drawing. The drawing. Not a real cat, madam.
Closer.
Closer. Okay, yeah, I'll just give him a little hat. I mean, I have to be in front, right? My head has to be in front.
Do you have any pets?
I don't have any
Where?
pets, madam. I, I, I have fish, but it's gobble. You know, they are small, and I think it's called guppy. Guppy, yeah, guppy. They are small. They eat they eat us those food
When do
with
you want to
their
do collab or maybe?
mouths, like you know, up, like a rough cat. Uh, am I Christian? I'm not actually Christian, but this is a Christian channel. Like no swearing, no cursing, very friendly. That's why I put Christian on. It's nothing religions. It just
I used to have
I
guppies.
just
They're pretty cool.
yeah, they're pretty cool. I killed a lot of guppies out in the past because I was a kid. You know, I literally like fish, and I tried to. I would try to.
You swear I saw on stream.
Uh, yeah, I
Do you prefer cats
that
or
there was
dogs?
once there was
I love both but only have dogs.
yeah I will I when you collapse maybe after this I guess when when people left uh uh cat or dogs I would say dogs because cats are scary.
Same grinning face with sweat, I only have one now. Fish.
Uh-huh.
What time?
I don't know, Sasha, I'm sorry. But I'll make sure that I'll do that. Okay? Keep remind me, alright? Uh, I'm not the kind of guy that like to. I'm not a liar anyway, you know? I'm a bad liar. Yeah, I don't want something, I just couldn't lie. But I want to collab with you? Yes, I do. Yeah. Uh, anyway, speaking of Gabi,
Lie to my mom.
okay, Sasha. Uh, speaking of Gabi, I tried to put it on my stream once, you know, like make a little fish tank, you know, for it, but it just keep dying. Like, oh, I don't want to see them die. I saw them like the bones is like twisted and it just, yeah, it just die. The bones, the bones, the skeleton, the no, you know what I mean. Such a bad English. Ah, sorry. What fish do you have, Humble? You only have one fish. I wonder. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about this code again.
One guppy.
Uh-huh.
I love cats. Hopefully I can get one in the future. Crossed fingers. Light skin tone.
I like cats too. I think cats are like, you know, smarter than dogs for some reason.
I used to have like 10 to 15 coins.
I don't know. Maybe that they're not. Maybe they are. Oh, thanks. Amelia. So you can speak Thai, right? But not that fluently. Okay, I
At
see.
22 mel 0 dy I have one for adoption.
I'm okay, Maria. Thank you. You don't have to. You don't have to type in Thai. I understand English.
At Emirati music translator.
Yeah, she's translator. You can see her. She's translating for me. She's just being nice to me. You know, girls like you being nice to me. I mean, I just have to be nice first. You know, spread positivity, and yeah, that's how it works. Just try to make this world a better place. Yeah.
At Mihu really, unfortunately I can't have one right now though, sad face. How long have you been streaming for?
I've been streaming for 2 years, sir.
I unfortunately asterisk oops.
Oh, okay.
IGTG focus on my studies.
Okay. I mean, you could tell me what you're studying. I might be able to help though, Sasha. Oh my god. Okay, so feel free to ask me anything, alright? Yeah? I'm always here. Okay, I guess Ame doesn't know who's Ame is. Okay, I'm gonna tell you now who's Ame. Ame is one of the Hololive. Hololive, VTuber, Hololive. What do I like to read? I like to read chemistry, mathematics, those nerdy stuff. You know, I think it's very great, very good. Yeah, very great, good. I like it, and people like to come here and say hi, from time to time. So
Favorite
it's not
color?
too quiet. Oh, my favorite color is not. Wait. Oh yeah, it's dark yellow, sir. I mean, madam. May I ask you, Ame, and like how old are you, Ame?
You must be pretty good at both math and chemistry then.
Not at all. I'm only
Mine is
good
green.
at chemistry, sir.
27.
Oh, okay. Green.
Yellow's a nice color.
I bet you might like something like, uh, do you know Viridian? Viridian. Viridian. I was talking to a Indian guy, and he say that he like this color. It's green.
Viridian.
Viridian. Yeah. And I told him that he could name his son, who is if it's appear to be a girl, and he could name her Viri. Viri. Just Viri. It's gonna be a
I
cute
like
name.
fern green.
Yeah. Oh, fern green, like pine green. Is fern green like pine green?
Green, pink and light blue are my favorite colors.
Oh, fern green. I know this one. Is a dirty green. I don't know. It's like a little bit of muddy. But yeah, if you like it, it's okay. It it sound
Light
like
pink is my favorite though.
sound like vegetarian, vegetarian drink. Green, pink, and light blue are my favorite colors. I mean, you only have one favorite, don't you? If you say favorite, that means. Oh, okay. Maybe I got it wrong. I'm not sure because what I know is you say a favorite, it means one thing, right?
I think my favorite is orange.
Oh, okay, orange. I'll keep asking you guys this so every stream because I can't remember them all. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, true, but I like a lot of colors, haha.
oh, okay, like pink. That's what you're using right now, isn't it?
But if I have
Melody.
to choose one, it's definitely pink.
Oh, okay. But, uh, okay.
How's your day been so far?
It's been I don't know. It's been a lonely day. Not many people here. Like actually none, not at all. In the early morning, I met a Turkish guy and from the live, of course, Turkish from the live, and he just spam Turkish fact, Turkish fact, Turkish fact, Turkish fact, and he say like Turkish is the best. Like I don't know, what would took a courage for you to say that in front of someone you don't even know, Imagine walk up to someone and like Turkish, 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 or like Thailand, 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 kind of funny though, but I already mute him, so he's not gonna be talking for a while until I unmute him. Yeah, a little bit sleepy, do I?
Yeah, I don't get why people have to be like that.
Yeah, and most of the people, they just keep speaking, even though I don't understand them. So I have to mute them too. Normally, I don't take actions against them because I just want them to relax, you know? This is a place for people to relax. It's not like you can say anything, but almost anything though, but not everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be annoying. Grinning face with sweat. Alright, I am going to sleep because it is night time for me. Have a good stream.
Oh, see ya, Ame. I'll see you later. Yeah. I. It's good to see you too, Ame. See you guys later. I. Okay, we have Melody, we have. Oh, just Melody and
Do you
Harmon
play
now, I
any
guess.
games?
I play Minecraft. Right now, I play Minecraft. I mean, right now I'm not playing, but nowadays I play Minecraft. With my friends. And my followers. And I play Send to Die. Yeah, I play Send to Die, Minecraft, VR Chat Unturned. Most of them are zombie games anyway. Yeah. I think I feel a bit sick though. I wish I could be a bit happier. Am I not happy or something? I don't know. Yeah, I just have to smile. Okay, done. So what about you, Humble? You asked me, I'll ask you back. Do you play any games, sir? Oh, and also thanks for the lemon. I didn't see the notification. Sorry. Uh,
I
anyway.
play a bit of Minecraft now and then, but I mainly play Borderlands.
Oh, Borderlands. Okay. I think it's a
That's
scary
my favorite
game.
game right now.
I think it's a scary game.
IGTG2 by J Concha. Have a good rest of your day.
Oh, see you later, Melody. That's why you didn't say much thing because you're a bit busy. I see. Okay, I'll see you later. Hope to see you soon. But it's nighttime for you now, isn't it? Humble, anyway, where are you from? Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, sorry for not chatting much. Grinning face with sweat. See you next time.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, she took some time typing. Oh, okay, I appreciate that. Thank you, Melody.
Have you played Borderlands before?
I. Oh. Borderlands? No, I haven't. I told you I mean, I have the game, but it's kind of scary to play. The characters looking weird. You know, they're doing something like this, and I was like, why would he do that? Like, oh, that's just I don't know, like you know, like the fingers thing like this, and he's like just I don't know why did he do that? It's a poster. It's a poster. It's a banner for the game. Why would he post like that in front of the? I mean, as a for the game banner. You know what I mean, game banner, right? Like when you buy something,
Yeah,
you gotta see
sure,
the.
some of the characters are a bit scary.
Yeah, they're crazy. I guess I think they're crazy. I, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Uh, I need a hug though. Do you
How
need a
about
hug?
Mass Effect?
Mass Effects? Isn't that like space infection? Like, you know, infection that happen in a space. Yeah, like a zombies thing. That's what I remember. The graphic isn't that good, so I don't play it. And I don't play shooting games, you know. But somehow, some
Yeah,
reason,
basically.
I just like zombie games. Mass Effect would be nice to play, might be. But the graphic is scary. I just say scary, not because it's not beautiful. That's why I don't play it. It's just scary, and I don't have that that uh that need from the audience. You know, like they didn't ask me to play those games. They just want me to be chill and calm, read books, do art, dog cats, speak to cats, pat them. Yeah, that's basically it.
Fair enough, slightly smiling face.
Yeah, my room is so messy. What a I don't know. I think I might should be ashamed of myself though. Should I? I don't know. I'm a bit confused. Why should I be ashamed of myself? Just okay. I just I didn't say that. It's just okay. Uh, I'm thinking about cropping my
Sorry, what did you
things.
say? There's AOD of noise in my background. Asterisk a lot.
Oh, I was saying something that you know, like I uh. Okay, let's just I so here what you see I I I don't really remember. Sorry. Maybe I was saying that you're a cool guy. Yeah, I was giving you compliments. You know. Yeah.
All good.
All good. Yeah. Always.
Ha, thank you. Grinning face with smiling eyes. Right back at you.
Oh, okay. Okay, now it's a little bit bigger. I I think this is great, but the large is not. I don't want you to see those, and maybe like this. I'm a bit self-aware, so I think the smaller it is, the better. I don't want to look at myself that much. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you like this. Maybe you don't. I'm I might have to buy a thing. You know, like a not a blanket, like a you know the like a wall. I have to buy a wall sheet behind me. Put it behind me, so you guys won't see anything behind me. You know? Yeah.
Bye, Jay. I'll go now. But I hope you have a good day.
Oh, see you later then. Bye.
Oh okay. LOL.
Oh, hello guys. I'm back here again. Okay, let's. Oh. Uh. It's getting colder and colder right now. Oops. "27, that's older than me. I'm impressed. Really.
When I don't, it just hits me so hard. Like, I love hearing someone sing their heart.
Oh, okay. Um. Wait, I just got an ice cream. I didn't see that. Okay, well. Thanks a lot. Oh well. Right here.
at Wing Canvas, I teach both cartooning and anime and digital art, but for both classes, I use digital means to teach the majority of the time. Medibang is a great tool for beginners. It has a lot of similar functions to more advanced programs, and you can create and download custom brushes, and the default brushes themselves handle really nicely. If you haven't downloaded Medibang Paint Pro yet, pause the video and download it first so you can follow along. Now, without further ado, let's get arting. It works. Let me do that. The only things you really need to pay attention to are your width and your length. Change the pixel size there, and you should be good. Now, the very first thing that I want to talk about is the brush tool. That's your very first tool up at the top here, up at the left. Looks like a little paintbrush. With this brush pen, pay attention to these two little windows on here. I'll switch to the pen tool. You'll see all of these different options for brushes that you can use. Feel free to, play around with them, see which ones you like, see which ones you don't. Right here is your slider to change how big your pen is, so you can see it getting bigger and smaller in the center of the canvas here. So I'm going to keep it at maybe 21 there, 20. And this over here is your opacity, so how opaque it is. So right here I have it at 100%, and right now I have it at 50. And you can layer them as well when they are at low opacity. And turn my opacity back up. And up here at the top, you can see this little thing up here that says correction. Let me change mine to 27. Actually, let me keep it at 0. And I'll draw a straight line now. If I draw a straight line with no correction, see that it's got, actually that's not bad. But you can see that it has some kind of shakiness to it. If I turn up my correction, let's go to 27 just to exaggerate it a little bit. It's kind of going off to the side there.
Correction.
You can see the difference between the first line and the second line, right? If I try to move a little bit faster, you can see that my brush lags a little bit. And what that does is it makes the brush a little bit smoother, right? So this is what the brush would look like with correction turned on. This is the brush with the correction turned off, right? It lags it, it makes it a little bit slower, and it lets your brush be a lot smoother. Generally, you don't want your correction to be above 20, or else it gets kind of finicky and not that great. And whatever your correction is up here, it will also affect the next tool we're talking about, which is the eraser. When it lags it, it makes it a little bit slower, and it lets your brush be a lot smoother. Generally, you don't want your correction to be above 20, or else it gets kind of finicky and not that great. And whatever your correction is up here, it will also affect the next tool we're talking about, which is the eraser. Let me just draw in something quickly. Your eraser tool, which is a tool right below your brush, just as it says, erases, whatever you have there. Change the size in the same place, change the opacity in the same place. But the difference is, with the eraser, there are only 2 different types of erasers here. All of these different types of pens will not affect the eraser tool. But you can also put your correction on with your eraser. The next tool that we're going to talk about is the move tool, which is this little, looks like, almost like a northeast, southwest, looks like a compass. Selecting that tool is great, because say if I drew this Kirby a little bit too high out. Oh man, I don't want it to be that high up on the canvas. So let's just move him a little bit. Using the move tool, whatever is on that layer, you will be able to move it anywhere on the canvas that you want. You can even move it off the canvas a little bit if you so desire. But say if I drew this Kirby too small, right? I'm like, oh man, I want to make him bigger. There is no actual button for it, so what you have to do is on your keyboard, you hit Control-T. Now you can make him bigger or smaller. Holding Control will allow you to turn on Free Transform temporarily. You can turn it back off afterwards. And holding Shift will allow you to use these little anchors to your will. So, say if you want to make him taller, shorter, whatever. Using the little anchors will be what you do. So let's cancel that for a second. And the next tool I'm going to talk about is the paint bucket. Looks like a little bucket of paint. Pretty simple. I'm going to skip ahead and make a new layer just to do this a little bit. What you can do with the paint bucket tool, exactly what it sounds like. click on different areas and it'll fill in the color for you. And if I kind of zoom in here, you'll notice that it leaves a little bit of a white residue around everything, which is not what you want. You don't want to do that. So what you can do is you can turn up your tolerance. You gotta turn it up pretty high to get rid of the white areas. And click, and you'll notice now all those little white bits are no longer there, which is what you want, generally. But right now I have it set to reference the canvas. If I had it set to reference the layer, while I didn't have anything colored in, it wouldn't actually read the line art that I've already drawn in. So say if I wanted to fill him in pink, and I have it set to referencing the layer, it'll color in that whole layer instead. Now even though I'm on a different layer, it'll read the other layers that I've already for generally. But right now I have it set to reference the canvas. If I had it set to reference the layer, while I didn't have anything colored in, it wouldn't actually read the line art that I've already drawn in. So say if I wanted to fill him in pink, and I have it set to referencing the layer, it'll color in that whole layer instead. Now even though I'm on a different layer, it'll read the other layers that I've already created. The next tool that's pretty simple that we will try to use over here is the gradient tool. Now the gradient tool, it will read off of your color picker that is up here. It'll read off of these two little boxes. Now, say if I wanted to color in the background, it's kind of a wavy looking thing. I could select this, have this square selected, select this blue, click on the square that's below it, and it'll switch it to the front. You can click on either square to switch whichever one is in the front. And then you can just click and drag, and that'll make your gradient for you. I want them kind of in space. It's gonna be like that. There we go. Kind of cute. Alright. The next tools that we're gonna have are all these different select tools down here. There's 5 of them in total. This first one that is over here is your just general select tool. You can change what shape it is. You'll always start off with the default of the rectangle, so you can automatically make rectangles where you can select things and then move them around. You know, now I have this whole square section moved around. Oof, that kind of messed up everything. But I have that selected. You can change the shape of your select tool as well. So you can change it to an ellipse, so you can make it a circle.
Oops.
Or you can change it to a polygon, which then would mean that you're creating a bunch of edges. Double click at your final bit to finish the shape. The next select tool that you can use is the lasso. The lasso is just kind of like drawing in whatever shape you want to to create. Just like that, but you got to do it all in one go. And if you wanted to deselect, you can hit Control D, and that deselects the entire thing. Now this one over here, this is the Magic Wand tool. The Magic Wand tool is a lot of fun. I'm going to set it to reference the layer. Same deal with the paint bucket. So it'll only reference whatever layer you have selected off to the side. And the Magic Wand will select everything outside of what you've already selected. Outside of everything that you click. So, say if I want to select all these inner line art here, I'd set my expand to 2. Now let me change it back to 0, just to show you what it does if I don't have it set to 2. And you'll see that it selects right on the line art there. If I really zoom in, it selects right on, but it's a little bit outside the line art, which is not what you want. So you're gonna have to change your expand. I usually have it set to 2. So let me deselect this and select once more. You'll see now the selection is a little bit inside the line work, which is what you want. And then if you wanted to inverse it, you can hit Control-Shift-I on your keyboard, and now the only things that are selected are inside of I on your keyboard.
Shift I.
And now the only things that are selected are inside of your illustration's liner. So say if you wanted to just fill in that entire thing, paint bucket set to referencing the layer, just paint bucket in a single in color, then you have really easy flat. And over here below your Magic Wand, this is called your Select Pen. You can change the size of it if you'd like. Change mine to pretty big. Let's hide these 2 layers real quick. Using the Select Pen, when you start drawing, you'll notice that kind of gives, you know, this kind of translucent red color. Color in wherever you want. This is a really, really accurate tool. It's very nice. Works with all of your brush settings, so whatever brush you have set select tool will do that. Right below it is your erase. Is your eraser for your select pen. So I kind of erase a little bit outside of his lines here. So let me just erase little bits of red selection. If you have something that is colored in red, you might not be able to see it that well, so you're gonna have to turn the opacity down to that layer, but I'll get to that soon. And then say if I'm just happy with what I've selected here, I can switch to something like the brush tool, and now whatever I've colored in is now a selection. I could switch back to the select pen and maybe draw in something else. Go back to the brush tool, and now that's selected too. You can go back and forth between them as much as you want to make adjustments and whatnot. And the only way to get rid of all of this and reset from the start, Control D, and now you've deselected everything, and the select pen has reset as well. The last two that are on the left side over here that I want to talk about are the eyedropper tool. Say if I really like this kind of in-between color here, I'm like, oh man, I really like this kind of purpley thing that's happening there. So if you pay attention, let me switch this up.
Hi, my name is Matt Spurk. I'm an illustrator and
If you pay attention to the top there, up to the top left, you'll notice that wherever I click on the canvas with the eyedropper tool selected, it picks up whatever range of colors I decide to click on. Right, it'll pick it up, and then that color is now selected, and I can draw with it, which is nice. And the final tool that is on the left that I want to talk about is the hand tool, which is basically just moving the entire canvas freely instead of having to use these little bars on the sides. You can use the hand tool, which is also a shortcut. The shortcut is with space. You just hold down the space bar and your hand tool will be there as well. Let's move on to the right over here. So if we look at all the tools that are over on the right, up here is your navigator window. The ones I want to talk about is zoom in, zoom out. These three little tools over here. Zooming out is with the magnifying glass that looks like a little minus sign. Zooming in, magnifying glass, little plus sign. And then fitting the screen is the one directly in the middle, so your canvas will just fit right on the screen. That's a little bit easier to use. And you got some rotates over here, which you can use as much as you want. Now I've already jumped the gun and created 3 different layers here. Different types of layers that you can do. Now with a layer, you can double click it, and a little window will pop up, and that's where you can change the name of them.
Trippy Red,
I always say
Stoned,
to change
can you
the
open
names
the
of your
song?
layers, create your
Happening. No, I can't play the song. Sorry, sir. I'm quite busy trying to draw something right now. Learning how to use Medibang, sir. Sorry about that.
shorthand.
So sorry.
And it'll help a ton. Say I wanted to shade a little bit. Now creating a new layer is you clicking this little button down here. That'll create a new layer. Double click it, change the name. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to show you how to use a clipping mask. Now this little button in the middle here, it says clipping. Click on that and you'll see that the layer kind of moves in a little bit. So now it's clipped to this bottom layer over here, this color layer. I wanted to color in some shadows. And just do these. My own color picking abilities. Now I can't color outside the lines inside of this layer, or I can't color outside of where I've already colored in based off of the layer that it's clipped to. Which is really, really nice. So now I'm stuck coloring inside of here, which is what I want because we don't want to color outside the lines regardless. And because it's a different layer, your original color layer is unaffected. And I can also hide this layer. This little white dot over here is hiding the layer. Turn it on and off. And that'll hide the layer. Turn it back on. But because it's also clipped, if I hide this color layer over here, this color layer, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to show you how to use a clipping mask. Now this little button in the middle here, it says clipping. Click on that and you'll see that the layer kind of moves in a little bit. So now it's clipped to this bottom layer over here, this color layer. I wanted to color in some shadows and just do these. Now I can't color outside the lines inside of this layer, or I can't color outside of where I've already colored in based off of the layer that it's clipped to. Which is really, really nice. So now I'm stuck coloring inside of to affect just the layer itself. I didn't want to add any clipping layers whatsoever. What I can do instead of turn it back on is also gone as well. Let's say if I wanted to affect just the layer itself, I didn't want to add any clipping layers whatsoever. What I can do instead is click this button that says Protect Alpha. Now Protect Alpha locks where you've already colored and it'll be on the same layer. Let's say if I wanted to color in Kirby's lines a little bit, make them a different color. No, my correction is so high. There we go. Say if I wanted to color in Kirby's lines a little bit. And I can't color outside the lines because Protect Alpha is turned on. And this other thing that's up here, these blending mode things, so say if I wanted to kind of change the color, the overall piece, I kind of want to give it this orange hue, nice aesthetic. Now I'm taking the paint bucket tool, turning this all on, so I kind of want to give it this orange hue, nice aesthetic. Now I'm taking the paint bucket tool, turning this all into orange, which looks kind of bad at first, looks like I've ruined everything, but I'm going to change this later, name it overlay, or over. Now the blending mode right now is at normal. I'm going to change this to overlay. And you can see what it's done. I'm turning down the opacity, that's what this little slider is, so turning down how opaque it is. And what it's done is it's now added, it's given a little more color information to the piece, to everything underneath this layer. And of course you can change different layer styles. Ooh, that's nice actually. Turn it to multiply. So now it's a multiply layer, and multiply layers are what a lot of people do if they want to do some kind of shading. And of course you can stack these layers as well, say if I wanted another one, another multiply layer. This time I'm going to do pink one. Again, change it to multiply. Turn down the opacity. Of course you can switch what order they're in as well. They all add these different kinds of layers of color, which are really, really nice. You can use them for shading, you can use them for just general aesthetics. A lot of people who are like aesthetic artists like to use overlays, a lot of orange and pink ones and purple ones. Go folder, hold shift, select all three of these layers. These layers, once in a while, I'm gonna end up moving one at a time, and that's not what you want, ears. Kirby himself, I want to move the whole thing, right? Because if I can only select all these layers. Once in a while, I'm gonna end up moving one at a time, and that's not what you want, ears. Actually, let's create the folder first, and then select this. A folder is down here, it looks like a folder. Hold shift, select all three of these layers, click and drag them into the folder, rename it Kirby. And now I can hide Kirby himself, and I can move his entire body.
And with that, that concludes this Medibang Paint Pro Basics tutorial. Digital art is far better for the environment and saves you tons of money on traditional materials because you have the
subscribe thingies. Anyway, let's talk about setting up this overlay. We're gonna add a few things. The first, the only one that really simple, easy, but we're gonna go into file and then go into document properties. Show you how to apply it. Go and get your outline, and basically all that does is it tells export is done. So we're gonna open up the file and we're gonna right click it, and if we go into properties, notice how like this is only like a really and then the third design is going to be a circle. So it's an animated circle, again, 4 different colors. Just go in, pick the design that you want, and you're going to want 2 files. One is going to be a WebM animation. The second is going to be a mask. That's what we're going to be working with. Okay, cool. So we're all on the same page now, whether you watch the video or not. Now you can open up OBS, go into your camera, the filters, and then add a filter called image mask blend. You're going to change the type to alpha and then select the mask file you either created or the one that you downloaded from the Discord. Essentially all this does is it just cuts out a shape for your camera. So if you're using just a normal rectangle, you don't have to do this step, so you can skip it. But if you're using any of the other shapes, you're going to have to add one of these masks. And then you're going to create a new media source. So right click, add media source, and then I stream 4 nights a week where we do that just animate. They have these 2-tone colors that just rotate around my camera. One of the things that bothers me about a lot of people's overlays is that they're just way over designed. So I just wanted to do something that's really minimal and something that's just not distracting. Now, yes, there are plenty of videos showing you how to do this kind of overlay from people that are way more talented, way more artistic, way more creative, and just overall way better people than me. But pretty much every tutorial that I looked up always uses paid software like Adobe After Effects or Apple Motion, and I'm guessing you don't know how to use either of those programs, or you don't want to pay for them because they're really expensive, especially when you consider that you can just pay an artist to go make the overlay for you. So with that being said, we are going to be making these overlays again. Here are the steps to making this, and trust me, when you find out how to make this, you're just gonna be like it's really easy to do. So the first step is just to create a normal simple rectangle, and then we're gonna add a gradient to that rectangle using any colors of your choice. So for me, I went with like a purple and blue theme for mine because that matches my branding. Then we're gonna take that rectangle and we're just gonna rotate it using some motion graphic software. Then we're gonna take that rotating rectangle and then basically just cut out the shape of our camera border, kind of like a cookie cutter, and that's basically it. It's literally our shape of actually so zoom and all as it grams. So it's the B. So for me, I've already done that. I'm just gonna go position paste border. God damn, that is right. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a screenshot of our game and paste it into Inkscape. And the reason why we're gonna do that is we want to get a rough idea of where we're gonna position our camera and how big the border needs to be. So for me, I've already done that. I'm just gonna go paste in my screenshot here. Whatever you want, you can.
There below 3 minutes. Be played on loop, and you aren't going to get it perfect, but you can get it pretty close. So you see here, I'm starting out in one position, and at the end of my video, it pretty much ends in the same position, and that's ideally what we're going for. Now, you're going to be able to trim your video, so the beginning and the end of it out, but just make sure that you are trying to accomplish this particular type of scene. All right, now that we have your video, now let's talk about using Canva and watch. I start out, I'm gonna trim this video because I want it's gonna be on loop, and so I wanna make sure the beginning and the end are as closely matched as possible. And so I'm actually gonna trim this video right now. So I'm gonna trim out, I love Canva because it actually gives me a little bit of a preview where I'm trimming. I'm gonna go right to where I'm looking to the left, right there, because that's what I look like. That's kind of what I look like in the beginning of this video clip. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna say done, we're good. I'm actually gonna export this video as an MP4, and then I'm gonna go to unscreen and I'll show you how to make it an actual GIF. Now we're over here in this application called Unscreen. Now this application has its imperfections, but you definitely want to be on the paid plan in order to create the type of files that we need. So we're going to upload our video that we just created, and we're going to let it do its magic. It tends to take a few minutes sometimes, and it's going to give us a preview. Now the preview is really important because, as I mentioned, this application is not perfect, and sometimes the removal of the background is not correct. So we're going to watch this preview a little bit. This file looks like it did it correctly because you don't pay for the file, or you're not, I guess it doesn't go against your credits until you actually process it. Now, one thing I want to point out here is it's showing us the original, and I want a transparent background. However, you can also use the application to pick an image in the back, a video. This is great for other type of social media uses, but for the use that we're using, we want to pull this into our stream. And so now we're just going to process the file, and so we're going to click next, and it's going to give us
Valorant ทุกท่าน
Oh,
I am so sick of seeing the exact same thing being tweeted by streamers when they go live on Twitch or YouTube. Do people actually think that tweeting or posting to Discord with the words "I'm live" followed by their Twitch link is actually going to get people to click through and visit their stream? That might have worked 5 years ago, but nowadays you've got to put a little bit more effort into grabbing people's attention and bringing them across to your live stream. So GIF or Lexia to edit their videos and get a whopping 30% off your first year with coupon code Gaming Careers. Check out the first link in the description to learn more.
Okay, so for this tutorial, we're going to be using Adobe After Effects. Now, if you don't already own Adobe After Effects, they have a free 7-day trial. I'll leave a link down in the description, or you can just Google After Effects free trial. I think it's 7 days, but it's completely limit free, so you can use the software fully. And another thing worth mentioning is in the Gaming Careers Discord server, we we have a channel there called Free Downloads where I will be uploading the finished project file from this video with some really easy controls so you can customize your username, which platform you're streaming to, all the colors, and even add your own logo or avatar into the start. So that'll be the really easy way to create this, but I'd recommend following through with this tutorial and actually creating it for yourself from scratch, because then you're going to have the creator skills needed to make things like this in the future. But the project file will be there in Discord for those who just want to quickly get on with it. Okay, so in After Effects we want to start a new composition, and here you can name this whatever you want. I'm going to call it Now Live GIF or something along those lines. For the resolution, we want to leave this at a 16:9 ratio because that's what works really well on Twitter and in places like Discord where you'll be posting this GIF. I'm going to set mine to 1920 by 1080. I might, when I'm rendering it out, lower this resolution if we need a smaller file size, but it's a great starting point, especially if you want to include this looping GIF in a video or anything like that. For frame rate, let's leave it set to 60, a nice high frame rate to keep all the animation super smooth. And then for the duration, I know because I've previously created this that I want it to be roughly 6 seconds. But if you want something longer with more words, feel free to up this to 10 or 20 seconds. I just recommend that if it's for a looping GIF, you want to keep it quite short. So 6 seconds for me, and then we can press OK. Next, we'll import our logo or our avatar or whatever image you want to use. I'd recommend using whatever you use on stream, basically. So come up to the project window here, right click, import file, select the file you want to import. For me, that's the Gaming Careers logo. And then we want to drag that down into our timeline here so we can see it appearing in our composition. If you need to make your logo or avatar smaller or bigger, you can just highlight the layer down here, press S on the keyboard to bring up the scale properties, and then just drag this 100% to the left if we need to make it smaller, or to the right if you need to make it bigger. But 100% seems to work this 100% to the left if we need to make it smaller, or to the right if you need to make it bigger. But 100% seems to work this. You can just highlight the layer down here, press S on the keyboard to bring up the scale properties, and then just drag this 100% to the left if you need to make it smaller, or to the right if you need to make it bigger. But 100% seems to work well for me. The last thing that we need to make sure that we're doing to our logo before we start animating it is to make sure that this anchor point is in the very, very center of our logo, because we're going to be applying some rotation to it. We want to make sure it's rotating around the center. So to do that, make sure you have the layer selected and then press Control, Alt and Home, and that will move the anchor point to the very center of the image. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add our background layer. So to do that, very center of the image. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add our background layer. So to do that, right click down in the timeline here, go to New Solid, and it's going to bring up the options for a new solid. Here you can select the color. I'm going for this sort of grey-y blue sort of color in the center of the image. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add our background layer. So to do that, right click down in the timeline here, go to New Solid, and it's going to bring up the options for a new solid. Here you can select the color. I'm going for this sort of grey-y blue sort of color. I will leave all the hex codes that I use down in the description below, but anything you want to use really, you can select it here, press OK, and it will add in the background layer. You'll notice that we can't now see our logo. That's just because the layer order is wrong. So if we drag our background layer below our logo, you can see it now appears properly. And the last thing to do is, this is going to get a little bit complicated, this project, so it's worth just renaming your layers so that you know exactly which is which. So right click, I'm going to rename this background, and then right click on the top one, I'm going to rename this logo. So time to start actually animating this logo to make it appear on our screen. So what we're going to do is play around with the position keyframes of our logo. So select the logo layer here and press P on your keyboard, and we're going to change to our position keyframes. And a handy little tip when it comes to animating things, especially if you want them to end in the center of the screen, is to actually work backwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll across on our timeline here to roughly halfway through the first second, maybe 35 frames through, and we're going to add a keyframe by clicking this stopwatch. And that basically means that at this point in time, the logo will be exactly in this position. So moving backwards to the very start when we want our logo to be off screen, if we move our timeline back to the start and then we drag our logo down, and then if we hold the shift key, it will lock it in place, and we'll just drag it so that it's off screen. And if we play this back, we're going to get the world's most boring animation of it moving up into the middle of the screen. And we're going to play around with that, but there's one more keyframe that we want to add first, and that's sort of at 20 frames in. We want this to actually be at the very top of our screen. So again, 20 frames in, drag our logo, hold shift because we want it to stay in place somewhere around about there. And again, a super boring animation. You can start to see how it's going to animate onto screen. So to help make our animation look a little bit more natural, what we're going to do is select these two last keyframes, highlight them both so that they turn blue, and then right click, keyframe assist, easy ease. And this is just going to help with the animation looking a little bit more smooth as they ease into the keyframes. We can actually customize this animation a little bit more. So if we go to the 20 frames in keyframe, and then click on this button here, which is going to open up the graph editor, you'll see a graph that looks like this. If you don't see this graph and instead you see the value graph that looks like this, all you have to do is right click anywhere on the graph and change it to edit speed graph like that, and you should see the animation now, the actual speed that this animation a little bit more. So if we go to the 20 frames in keyframe and then click on this button here, which is going to open up the graph editor, you'll see a graph that looks like this. If you don't see this graph and instead you see the value graph that looks like this, all you have to do is right click on keyframe and then click on this button here, which is going to open up the graph editor. You'll see a graph that looks like this. Then the smooth animation is going to sort of hover at the top point and then slam down. So if we go back and watch this back again now, you can start to see the animation has a little bit more life. One last change that we'll make to this position keyframe is, again, if we look at the 20 frames in keyframe, we're just going to drag this top anchor point down a little bit, which will reduce the height that it goes to. If we play this back now, you're going to start to see that we're really nearly there with our animation with the logo appearing on screen. The last thing we want to add is a little bit of rotation. So to add rotation keyframes, we can just press R on our keyboard to bring up our rotation keyframes, but it's useful to see both rotation and position next to each other. So we can click this little down arrow twice and it'll show you all the transform keyframes that we have added. So what we want to do is go 20 frames in when it's at the top of its...
What does it mean to be a featherless?
Oh, that's...
its sort of lock-in point, and this is where we want our rotation to be at 0 degrees, so in this correct position. And then if we go back to the beginning of the composition where the logo is off screen, we're going to drag this right value to the left to turn it back maybe 100 degrees or so, something like that. And then if we play it back, you can see it spins into place, it locks at 0 degrees at the top and then slams down into its final position. So the last thing we'll do here, just to make it look a little smoother, is easy ease this last keyframe by right clicking keyframe assist, easy ease, and now we have finished our animate last keyframe by right clicking keyframe assist, easy ease, and now we have finished our animation for our logo appearing on screen. I said we were done with the logo animation, but there's actually one last change that we need to make. You'll notice that as the logo is moving here, it might not look the most realistic, and that's because for human eyes, when we see an object moving quickly, we see some blur artifacts in there as well. And you can actually add that in After Effects. It's called motion blur. All you have to do is click this button here to enable the motion blur option for all layers, and then make sure you have it enabled for our logo layer by ticking this box here. And you can see instantly, as soon as we enable that, it goes from a sharp image to a blurry one, and it looks much more natural as it's moving through the composition. Now, we don't want this logo to stay in the middle of the screen throughout of our whole of our looping video. Once the animation has finished, roughly at about 50 frames in, we can actually end the logo and stop showing it on screen. So to do that, have our logo layer selected and go to about 50 frames in and press Ctrl-Shift-D, which will split the layer at that point, and then we can just press the delete key, which will get rid of the top split layer, and then we have our logo appearing on screen and then disappearing at about 50 frames in. So next we're going to add some text to our video, and to do that we need to make sure that we're showing certain windows in After Effects. So come up to the window option here and make sure that you have the align, character and paragraph options enabled, and they'll show somewhere on the right hand side here. To make our first text layer, we can go right click here, new text, and then we're going to type out the word now. To play around with the font color and sizing, we're going to open up our character options here to make sure that we can change our font. I'm going to use Montserrat, and I think black is the biggest one there, and we're going to change the color from this horrible green to the gaming career is just off-brown white. I'll leave all of the hex codes that I use down in the description, but obviously feel free to play around with fonts, colors, sizes, whatever you want. It really is your playground to play with. So let's duplicate this layer by highlighting it and pressing Ctrl-D, and then we can double click on the layer and actually type out the word live, and you can see them layered on top of each other, so you can't really read the words different. If we change the color of the word live by opening our character options, clicking this button, and then entering in any hex code, I'm going to use gaming careers red. You can see that there's two different words here, now and live, and we need to play around with the position keyframes. Let's start by doing the live layer and positioning that properly. So highlight it, press P on your keyboard to bring up the position keyframes, and just like we did with the logo, we're going to work backwards. Press P on your keyboard to bring up the position keyframes, and just like we did with the logo, we're going to work backwards. So let's go to around about 1:10, 1:13. You can see the time over here, so that means 1 second and 13 frames in. Somewhere around here is where we want now live to be in their final positions. So let's add a position keyframe by clicking the stopwatch, and then you can just use the right and left arrows on your keyboard to position these properly. So I'm going to hold down the right arrow until roughly we think it's in the final position that it's going to be in for it to read. So I know that now is going to move to the left, so somewhere around about there is the final position that I'm going to keep, and that keyframe has now been added. If we move back a little bit in time, maybe 10 frames or so, we are going to position this completely off the screen. So again, we can hold down the right arrow on our keyboard to move this. If you want to move it quicker, you can hold shift and right, and I think it sort of moves 10 pixels at a time, something like that. But now we have this really bad animation of live coming in from the right hand side. For the now text layer, we want to again press P on our keyboard to bring up the position keyframes, and we want this to start in the center of the screen where it is currently. So let's add a keyframe there, and then at this end point at 113, where we have the live coming in and ending in its real position, we want to move this to the left just so that it reads properly. So let's leave a normal space gap, something along the lines of that. I think looks great. Now if we play this back, there's a couple of changes that I want to make. I want it to sort of appear like the word live is pushing the word now out of the way. So to do that, we're just going to move this first keyframe on the now layer to the right a little bit, something around about there. And now if we play it back, we can see that now doesn't start moving until live gets much closer to it. Last things that we're going to do is obviously enable the motion blur for both layers. So tick that for both layers and you can see it adds the motion blur. And then we're just going to easy ease all of these keyframes. So highlight them all, right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. And now if we play it back, you can see it's much more animated and we get that nice pushing the word now out of the way. Just like with the logo, we don't want these to stay on screen throughout the whole video. So at about 1 second and 35 frames in, somewhere around here, we're going to end both these layers. So make sure you have them both selected by holding down Shift and clicking on both of them, and then Control Shift D, just both selected by holding down Shift and clicking on both of them, and then Control Shift D to split the layers, and the delete key to delete, clicking on both of them, and then Control Shift D to split the layers, and the delete key to delete the split. And then we can see that it now pops in, now live, and it's ready to move. Delete the split, and then we can see that it now pops in by holding down Shift and clicking on both of them, and then Control Shift D to split the layers, and the delete key to delete the split. And then we can see that it now pops in, now live, and it's ready to move on to our next word. Next word is super simple. It's just on, no animation. So let's do as we have done before. Right click, new text, type out the word on. We're going to highlight it, change the color back to white or whatever color it is that you want to use. And then we're going to use the paragraph, make sure it's center aligned, and then align it in the center horizontally and vertically to make sure it's in the very center of our composition. Again, we don't want this to start at the very start of our composition, so come to where we want it to begin, drag this across to the right so that it appears once now live has disappeared, and then we want to end this layer at about 155, so it's been on screen for a short amount of time. So Control Shift D to split the layer, delete to delete the split, and now we have the next word added. So we should be getting pretty used to adding new text layers in .tv, but we're going to add there's going to be a text effect called on the .tv as we need it to. Now if we watch this, which is where the animation starts and the animation is complete. So 0% and 100% on our type. Quick play it back, you'll see that it is actually typing it out, but we want up and side or wherever you have this one. Make sure that After Effects is showing the effect window. So come up to window, make sure that we have this one, effects and presets enabled. And then over here, maybe on the right hand side or wherever you have it set up, you can type in the word typewriter, and there's going to be a text effect called typewriter that we can drag and place onto our twitch.tv layer. Now you'll notice that the word Twitch has disappeared. If we drag our mouse across the timeline here or just play it back, you'll see that it is actually typing it out, but we want to play around with this animation and make it much quicker. We also want to make sure that we're starting with the word Twitch. So to do that, we're going to pop open the twitch.tv properties here, then go to text, and then animator 1, and you can see that we already have, if we open up range selector, we already have these two keyframes, which is where the animation starts and the animation is complete. So 0% and 100% on our typewriter. So the first thing we can do is actually increase the speed of this animation by bringing the 100% keyframe to the right, to end somewhere around about here, I would say. And then we're going to have a much quicker typing animation. But like we said before, we don't want it to start with nothing typed, we want it to start with the word Twitch typed. If we bring our timeline across to this first keyframe, make sure it's highlighted, and then we can drag the start percentage from 0 to the right until we have the word Twitch typed out. We don't want the full stop, so somewhere around about there, 63% with the font that I've used. And now it's going to start with the word Twitch and then add on the .tv as we need it to. Now, if we watch this back, it still looks a little bit naff, and that is mainly, I think, because the word Twitch, when it's on its own, is to the left. You can see that something else needs to come to the right. So this would look a lot cooler if its Twitch word was in the middle, and then as.tv was typed out, it moved across to always be centered. So to do that, it's really, really simple. We're going to play around with the position keyframes again. Let's drag our timeline to the finished keyframe here, where the full word is typed out. Open up our transform properties so that we can see position, and add a keyframe here, because this is the position we want it to be in at this point. But if we move back in time to when just the word Twitch is typed, here in this keyframe, we want to center this. So again, we can use the right and left keys to center this word. And I'm just going to eyeball this. You can probably get super technical with rulers and things like that to make sure it's completely centered. But something rough around about there looks about right. And now if we play this back, you can see the word Twitch is in the middle, and then as.tv gets typed out, it moves to the left to make sure that it's always centered. Now, because we've added a little bit of motion to this layer, it's worth adding the motion blur by, again, ticking this box here. Just as it's moving, it's going to add a little bit of blur and look much smoother. We can now close all the properties for that and watch it back. So twitch.tv, that's looking really nice, now live on twitch.tv. We just want to end this layer when the full word is typed out. So somewhere around about just before 3 seconds, 250 is what I've got it set to. Control-Shift-D, delete the top layer, and then let's have a look at what we've got so far. Nice. Okay.
Grammarly.
Apps.
Okay, so making really good progress. The last thing in Photoshop and white, and again, as always, take this. So we want the next. If you ever want to change this username, if you want to maybe render out a graphic for one of your friends or something like that, it's really simple to do now. All we have to do is go into our placeholder layer, this one in the center, double click to open it, and then change whatever we write in here. So it can change from username to whatever you want it to. And if we go back to our now live GIF composition, you can see the animation is updated and the text is all updated as well. Now our composition is starting to look a little...
Oh.